Technology Hall of Fame of Georgia. A sense of identity and place. The genetic connection between the past and the future. Dreamers believe, doers achieve, united by identity, place, and a common spirit that drives them together and relentlessly forward, the spirit of innovation. Is it really in the Georgia technology industry's DNA? It was the 70s. A car cost around $3,000 and gas 52 cents a gallon. Big hits at the Varsity were a chili dog and Bye Bye Miss American Pie. Rich's department store sold high style as well as homegrown produce at the club market on the street. Agriculture was a major Georgia industry, cattle was king, and the state's governor was a modest peanut farmer. Suddenly, a new era arose from nothing more than a common spirit of innovation. Georgia's technology economy had begun. Mainframe computers were exotic and reserved for deep pockets. It was 1974 when Georgia Hall of Fame inductee Dr. H. Edward Roberts introduced the Altair, the first personal computer that sold thousands. Georgia Hall of Fame member Dennis Hayes built the SmartModem, ultimately the industry standard. Peachtree accounting software was being created by Fame member Ben Dyer and others. A dynamic trio of further Fame inductees, John Imlay, Bill Goodhue, and Donald House, were growing more an industry revolution than a mere company called Management Science Atlanta. MSA, a visionary's launchpad that spawned not only global corporate success, but also a long lineage of future Georgia leaders of high-tech companies for decades to follow. Other Georgia pioneers of the 70s spawned notable tech companies from association with Scientific Atlanta, and all were inducted into the Hall of Fame during the decade of the 90s, including Glenn Robinson Jr. and Dr. John E. Pippin. Others remained at the company to execute truly pioneering technologies, including Dr. H. Allen Eckert. Independent entrepreneurs spread the spirit of innovation across the state, including inductees Jacqueline Ward, Parker Petit, and James Edenfield, who took startup ideas and grew them into enormously successful companies. At the close of the 70s, Hall of Fame member Governor George Busby helped establish the Advanced Technology Development Center, along with major technology force Georgia Tech. By the early 80s, around the time the IBM PC was introduced, a new generation of Georgia-born and bred technology companies emerged. Madonna was the world's first material girl, and the median family income by mid-decade was nearly $31,000, 3 times the family earnings in 1970. In the mid-80s, 5% of households had an answering machine, but by the end of the decade, nearly 20% were receiving the recorded messages. Georgia technology innovation grew and hybrided in the 80s, and so did the Hall of Famer J. Leland Strange, who pioneered the computer peripherals and enhancement products industry. Bill Goodhue, after leaving MSA, repositioned Peachtree Software and oversaw its acquisition. Howard Morrison Jr. spearheaded high technology banking and local venture capital partnerships and was founding president of the Business and Technology Alliance. Richard Snelling, who impacted telecommunications, helped to make its giant move into the electronic future. All earned Fame recognition. By the 90s, the World Wide Web was all the buzz. Dress-down Fridays led to today's tireless tech execs. Georgia hosted the Olympics, and the state's infrastructure and technology community advanced to world-class status. In 1993, the Technology Hall of Fame of Georgia started to formally recognize the decades of innovation and leadership of the 70s and 80s, with numerous inductees such as Dennis Hayes, John Imlay, and Ben Dyer, as well as Zell Miller, who, as governor from 1991 to 1999, demonstrated tremendous support for the state's technology economy. As the dot-com era of the 2000s bubbled and burst and came back again, recognition of old and new Hall of Fame achievements continued. Longtime MSA alum Donald House, later chairman of a sales management software company, joined the Fame members in 2000, along with Bill Todd, founding president of the Georgia Research Alliance and originator of an early-stage technology venture capital fund. Pioneering computer creator Dr. Roberts was recognized in 2001. C. Tycho Howe, leader of this groundbreaking e-commerce firm of the early 80s, was inducted in 2002. Many Hall of Fame members were recognized for civic, industry, and educational contributions, as was Shirley Clemens Mewborn in 2003. That same year, Sidney Topol achieved recognition for his early work in cable satellite connectivity and the explosive growth of CATV. 2004 inductee Charles D. Mosley was recognized for his investment banking leadership in the 70s and his investment company formed in the 80s. Inductee Gary Betty was selected in 2005 for taking a small ISP to major national brand success, and that same year, Said Mohammedoun was chosen for his acquisition and merger accomplishments. Then in 2006, Thomas Noonan, co-founder of a leading global provider of information protection software and a homegrown Georgia technology community startup, Super Success, was selected. The lineage of innovation cannot be denied as its spirit continues into our future. Pioneers and innovators all played diverse roles in shaping Georgia's global technology economy leadership of today and will tomorrow. Inventors, engineers, entrepreneurs, investors, and government leaders, united by the legacy of our past and the innovation that is in our DNA. Georgia is the Technology Hall of Fame.